G'day everybody and welcome to attempt number 2 of the round 10 review. We've just made a 15-minute video and found that my audio wasn't working, so we're going to be at it. We're going to go at it again. So before we say who was the bottom scorer, I want you guys to guess this week. So pause the video right now.
Oh my God.
And write in the comments who you think
You're not saying
scored.
this again, are you?
I am,
Alright, that's
'cause
it.
it's funny.
Story time later, guys. Story time.
It's funny.
We'll
So
have story
hopefully
time
you
later.
guys guess Scott because it is him. So take it away, Scott.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say what I said last time in attempt 1. Next week, alright, so after this video, comment who you think will score lowest next week. Alright, there we go. In the back line, Heath Shaw and Bernie Vince should have scored 100, but they didn't because one week they're great, the next week they're spuds. In this case, Bernie Vince is a spud 2 weeks in a row.
Bud.
Shh. Jackson Trengrove had 37 at half time, and he only got 52, so him playing injured isn't great, and neither is Jack Compsch coming out for the next 2 weeks, but as we've discussed earlier, he'll be okay, because hopefully Carlisle and Cleary or whatever kid,
Logan Austin.
there you go, Logan Austin, hopefully they'll come in. Into my midfield, all great scores for my premiums except for Taylor Adams, who got injured at the start of the second half.
Long-term injury.
Also lost me my league matchup, but
Ouch.
can't live in the past these days, not with a fantasy team like this. Maxi Gawn in the ruck as my captain.
Huge score. Good captain pick.
Thank you very much. That's
Very
a lot
risky,
different
though.
response. That was a very different response to last time.
Yeah, because you convinced me last video.
Alright, well that's good. Yeah, so I thought against Port, I've proven myself to captain players against Port in all forms of the game, and I decided to do it in Classic again, and so that turned out very well. Stefan Martin, I'm not sure if it's Trent West.
Oh, it is. I reckon so.
He's played with Leuenberger in the side though, and still averaged over 100.
Yeah, but it almost looks like, I mean, when Leuenberg was in the team, they'd sort of share it a bit, but it almost looks like Trent West is just their number one 90% ruck, and that just doesn't work for Steph.
And Steph's not a natural forward.
No way.
That's where they're starting him,
Yeah.
which I don't get.
Ah.
I mean, he can go down there and maybe grab a mark and kick a goal when he needs a rest, but not as a player who's playing that position the whole game.
Wasting talent and muscle.
Yeah, and and like I said last week after he scored that horrific score, Brisbane have completely missed his dominance around the clearances. They have been demolished, and it's not going to end if Trent West is still in the team. So fingers crossed there. And then in my forward line, Montagna very solid again. Aaron Hall got injured early in the game, so did well to get to that score. And so did Barlow, who had 0 at quarter time. Kerridge and Petrarca were obviously very disappointing, but will live because Petrarca's basically got a 2-round average of 73.
And Kerridge is up against the Lions at home this week, so he should be doing pretty well this week, hopefully.
Yeah, we hope for that too. Then Ryan Davis, again, another solid game, 68 from 3 quarters, but then only 4 points in the last quarter. But you still take that from a 250k rookie.
I reckon we should just look at your bench cover, appreciate that you had the score of 2 covering your forward line and no score covering your midfield, so that is extremely risky.
Well, it would help if Rockcliffe came back a week earlier, but he didn't. But no, if Aaron Hall didn't play this week, well, that would have been.
I mean, your
a very
midfield's
big
going to look
mishap.
great this week. You get Smith on the bench, Rockcliffe on the field, Oliver for Matheson, and then you probably get Adams to a premium. So,
yeah, well,
looks all right.
yeah, it could potentially be very good. But we'll see later on. So up to my score, 2,096.
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, it's all right. I feel like I should have got more. Actually, I feel like I should have got less if my captain wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So, but I went up 4,400 ranks to an overall rank of 31,400.
Congratulations, Scott.
Thank you. I'm getting close to that.
Close to that top 10.
Top 30,000. Anyway, to your team.
Okay. All right, so Heath Shaw and Bernie Vince both scoring in the 80s. So that's 2 weeks in a row for Vince after I bought him. So come on, Vince, I need a big 100 from you this week. So do that for me. Matty D, Mills, and Wagner all got 65 to 75 points, which I expect from them. So that's pretty good. And Marcus Adams, who I held for a very long time, came back and scored a good 80 for me. So that's brilliant. Some ripper scores in the midfield. 140 from Lewis. Dangerfield 122. Steven, who I brought in this week, scored me 135 on debut. That is awesome. Hunter 122. Zaharakis 103. But that was followed up by Selwood's 86. And he's averaging 79 in the last 3 rounds. So he's definitely going to pull his head out of his socks this week, or else he's getting traded. I had enough with Selwood. And then Barlow got a nice 88 in practically 3 quarters, because I was very worried after the first quarter you had about 2 points or something. And then I brought in Hopper instead of Petrarca because I couldn't afford Petrarca. And I was so disappointed. And how many points more did Hopper get than Petrarca, Scott? I'm pretty sure you know this one.
18.
Yay!
But how many points did Petrarca get more than Hopper the week before? That would be about...
See, this is the problem with Scott, guys.
40.
Scott doesn't live in the moment, okay? He lives in the past. He lives in the future. His team's not doing too well now. He doesn't really care because he thinks next week he'll score better. I mean, you know, he needs to just live in the moment, talk to his players, get that communication.
Andy,
don't just think about next week.
You're just on a low level because you know you picked the wrong player. For 1 week, he was the better player.
I'm pretty sure
week,
I outscored you.
Outscored.
I outscored you by 50 points this week.
But you still picked the wrong player, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Rocks are obviously the same as Scott still, so Max Gawn scored almost 100 more points than Stefan Martin, which is pretty funny. Nick Rewell's finally over 600k, so he has done huge things for my team, and I trusted him with the captaincy, and he got 136 this week, which is awesome.
He's been very, very good, especially of late.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with his draw coming up after his bye, he would be very good to pick up.
Yeah, it sort of risked my buy structure a little bit getting him, but gee, has it been worth it.
You got him and Stevens, so...
Yeah, that's all right. They both scored over 135, Scott.
You know, that's the reason why I can't get either of them, and it's really killing me right now.
So in the forward line, I got Zorks getting 100, which I expect from him. And Kerridge needs to score a lot better this week against the Lions at home, as I mentioned before. DeGoey and Davis doing their thing, and Hewitt disappointing 62 following a good game last week. So that is my team as we scroll up to my score, 2,148 points, which I'm pretty happy with. I think some of my players could have helped me over the 2,200 mark if they did a bit better. Hint, Stefan Martin, hint. And that's just putting me outside the top 5,000. So I'll look to push into that next week, hopefully. And for now, we'll get into some trades. So go ahead, start us off, Scott.
Yeah, sure. So obviously Taylor Adams needs to go. And I do have 60k in the bank, so he could go to any midfielder apart from Gibbs or Treloar if I wanted to. But then I saw the very nice bargain in Connor Blakely, who is 250k, it's around about that. And he scored 86 and 91, I think, his last 2 games against easy opposition. And in his next 4 games, he is basically even easier opposition. So I'll be looking to bring him in and reel in the cash and then upgrade Clay Cameron to Jimmy Bartell. But these are obviously subject to... Actually, no, you know what? My league matchups, I'm versing bottom of the ladder for the next 2 weeks before the buys, so these trades are locked in.
Just so everyone knows, Scott has given up on his overall rank because he's way too far out now, so he's going for league matchups, which I would do if I was in his position. But the fact that he still is actually having a go at me for still caring, I don't know what happened to my mic there, still caring about overall rank just because I'm within the top 10,000
No.
is quite a disgrace, to be honest.
Back
And
off.
it shows just a lack of character from Scott.
Back off, like a character. I've never dissed Andy for caring about his overall rank. He can care whatever the flip he feels
He
like.
did 2 days ago. Yeah.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No. And I feel.
Oh,
I feel
why are
as
you
if-
caring about overall rank for? That means
I
nothing
never-
unless you finish first. Remember those
Actually,
words?
I did say that.
Thank
Actually,
you. There you
Yeah.
go.
No, I said you should focus on league matchups more because you can win money from this league, whereas you can only win money overall if you somehow finish first of the round or if you win overall, which
And
you're
look,
not going
Scott,
to do.
I would definitely agree with you if my team was as bad as yours.
Well,
Anyway,
I feel that as if I start scoring well and I win some league matchups, then my overall rank's going to go up too. So
It
it's a
will,
win-win
Scott.
situation.
yeah, it's blue skies for you.
Exactly.
We'll hop into my trades. I have given no thought to my trades whatsoever this week. So I'm thinking just a traditional bench player downgrade. To hopefully upgrading a mid-price like D or Mills or Wagner to a premium or a fallen premium, something like that. So yeah, that's what I'm looking to do this week, hopefully.
And who are you looking at to downgrade and upgrade?
Well, it depends how much I can afford and who I downgrade to. But I'm looking at someone like a Suckling or a McVeigh, somewhere around there, so it doesn't cost me an arm and a leg to get someone like a Doherty or a Boyd or something.
Okay. Fair, cool. All right, story time.
This is the most useless story, and he's wasting your time because he tried to tell it the first time we tried to record. But if you don't feel like clicking away from the video now, you will in a couple of minutes, so take it away, Scott.
All right, this time, Andy, don't interrupt me 6,000 times, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. No, thank you very much.
Okay.
All right, so now that I have your full undivided attention, and Andy will not speak, here it is. As you know, 3 weeks ago, me and Andy played off in our league matchup, and we all know how that went. So, couple parties, people over. Andy was not invited because his fantasy team was useless. So the celebrations lasted a couple days, and then I was disappointed when Friday came around and lockout came, and I couldn't celebrate anymore because the week was over. A new week had started. Little did I know that the celebrations could possibly continue even further after this week's matchups. So, Andy versus me, I'm outside the top 30,000, and one of our other mates, who's also ranked outside the top 30,000, versed Andy this week. And so we all thought Andy would win, but surprisingly he did not. He lost to someone else ranked outside the top 30,000, and so 2 out of 3 weeks he's been beaten by 2, you could say, useless teams. Would you say that, Andy?
I mean, this is a payout to me, but you've just openly called your team useless.
It was useless up until that week, until
Okay.
I beat you.
All right.
So, the fact that Andy has lost to 2 blokes outside the top 30,000 within 3 weeks, I
didn't lose to 2 blokes outside the top 30,000.
You did.
No, you're a girl.
Now we're just being ridiculous. Come on, don't make me laugh. Okay? That's not funny.
Okay.
Alright?
Sorry.
Keep your mouth shut. Anyway, no, I'm not a girl.
You just needed to clarify that. You're just worried that people would think I was telling the truth. No, he's not a girl. He's just a very feminine man. So
I'm not.
I think his story has wrapped up, so we'll wrap up the video as well.
Don't worry about Andy's rank. He's getting beaten in league matchups by 2 people ranked outside the top 30,000, and it might happen again. Who knows? So, just thought you guys could finish the video off with that.
Thank you
awesome
guys
thought.
very much for watching. Hopefully you guys do a bit better than Scott this week. And make sure you tune in next week. See you later, guys.
Take care.